Good morning. Welcome to build day, I want to say 37. It's either 36 or 37, one or the two. On the docket for the day, I've got a small repair to do over here on that head and that head. We were noticing last night when we were going through with the cell phone that the lights on this head and that head behind me are not working. It's all attached to the same line that does all the other stuff on the wall. In fact, the end of the line is right through here. And the lights were working up to the candle holder back there in the back, but it was dead up here. If I remember correctly, I got to this point and I had run out of wire, so I had to add on another section of wire. And I'm thinking maybe it failed. Either that or we had some wind and the branches were hitting the connectors up there. But either way, I got to get in and diagnose that problem and get those two heads working again. Set dresser's out over here, working her magic where she can reach. Sneak by here. And we're going to get on over here. I tried to show this last night. I don't know how well it showed up. As you can see, I do have water room stuff here. I got water room stuff there. And we got lots of water room stuff over here. And more there. And we got more in the corn hallway. All the fencing and stuff is in the corn hallway. So can you guess what we're working on today, what the main project is? If you said water room, you're right. I just brought out the lighting for the pumping station. I'm going to get it in, and I can get those two tubs, those are the top ones. I can get those back and reinstalled. I can't do anything about the lower ones until after the lining goes in. As to doing the dragon's pond, the dragon has to stay in the room. He's too big, too bulky, and too fragile to be taking him apart and moving him out. So we're going to have to try to pick him up and set him somewhere where he's out of the way so I can get the lining in and then put him back in. This pond, same thing, water wall. I'm going to have to move all the pieces for the water wall out of the pond so I can frame the pond. Or not frame, but line the pond. Fun, fun, fun. I've also got two air blasters, or actually water blasters. One sits here, one sits here. They're pneumatic. I've got to run an air line for that, plus get the solenoids in and the control box in to run them. Let's see, what else was there? There was something else. Oh yeah, I gotta get zombie bait plugged in. I've got to get a light in him, and the control box is going to be over there to run everything. So I'm going to have to run all that over. Once the linings are in, I gotta get the water pumps out here to run the fountains. I got Morgan's fountain, the water wall, and the dragon are all fountains. They all need pumps. They're all going to need wiring. And every pump will get wired over to the video pumping station, and then I'll tie them all together and run it out to power, and we'll plug it in once we get water in it. And once we get to that point, we can start putting the room back together, putting all the stuff back in. And it's a pain in the ass. It's a lot of work. We're going to start out with the lighting. I want to get the lighting done in here. We'll start with the video pumping station. Actually, we're going to start with running the main power feed over here, and then we'll start wiring up the pumping station and getting the two covers back on. That will give us a little bit more light, though as my eyes are adjusting, it's getting a little bit brighter in here. It was kind of dark when I first came in. That guy's fairly simple. The hardest part on doing him is running the power line over here for him. But we'll get there eventually. Anyway, breakfast of the day. Oh boy, Alberta pepperoni. That's what me and Katie had for lunch, or breakfast this morning, huh? A couple of sticks of that, some water, and a Coke. So there's our breakfast of the day. Now I'm going to go get my stuff together and get to work. It's a little after noon. I figured I'd give you a progress report before I went and got lunch. Sue Ann's been in here working her magic. She's just finishing up. Tripping over her stuff that she doesn't put away.
I'm still using it.
Yeah. But she's done a beautiful job, as always, with the cobwebbing.
Sorry.
She still got that to work on, though. That's going to take her a little bit. But she's working there, trying to get this display done. For me, I've been over in the water room. And I don't know if he's showing up over here. I got him wired with his white lights, so his scars and stuff show. And I just got done wiring zombie bait. I ran them around the tent rail and just dropped the lines down here. They still need to be hooked up. And then I got that done. Now you notice I have the tubs up top, the warning up there on the top. Bottoms don't have theirs. I can't do the bottoms until I get the liners in because the tubs hang out over the lip there and I need to be able to get in there and staple the liner into place. But for now, that's as far as I can go. Not too bad, I guess. Did not go quick. It was not a quick project. What time is it? It's 12:51, so it's going on 1 o'clock. I've been at this just about 2 hours to get the pumping station done, him wired and lit up, and zombie bait's cords ran. Ram's hungry, hasn't had breakfast as usual. I'm going to go in and have some Totino's pizza rolls with cheese over the top of it and a dipping sauce. And what type of dipping sauce does Ram use? I have 4 or 5 I use, depending on what my mood is. I either do blue cheese dressing, I love blue cheese dressing, or I'll do a mixture of mayonnaise and ketchup, or make my own fry sauce, or I'll do mayonnaise and barbecue sauce, mayonnaise and a sweet mustard, or mayonnaise and honey, depending on what type of flavoring I'm looking for. Now, you always use that for dipping sauce, for more than just the pizza rolls. But it's time for something to eat. And I think after lunch, when we're done chowing down, we'll see what time it is. Might take Kelly for her walk to get that done and out of the way. Then we're going to jump in, and it's time to do the liners. If I can get the liners into this pond, I can put those tubs back on and be done with it. Morgan's fountain's going to have to stay off because I've got wiring and everything else I need to do in there. That'll be the last thing I put in. But the liners and getting the room reset, or at least part of it reset, will take most of the day. Rest of the day. Might get the water wall put together today too. Minus its electrical and water. Yeah, it does have electrical. The fan blade that goes in there has a windshield wiper motor on it that makes it turn. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It usually binds up on me. So that's electric. And then I'll have the light there too to put in. So, I don't know. This, that, and everything else. But we are making progress. More progress made. Dragon pond is put back together. We got the dragon in. I do have him sitting a little further back than what he was, just in case of the fountain. The fountain doesn't come out all that far, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. It is now ready for its water. And I just finished this one. And that is the pumping station. We even got the luring skeleton wired up and working. And we got Kaylee in here who's trying to be such a good helper, keeping me company. But we got the tubs back on the pumping station. Only thing I have not put back in is Morgan's fountain, and that's because I gotta make all my connections for all the pumps behind it, and it's easier to get in through it this side than the other side because I have the corn on the other side. So I'll leave that off till we get all the pumps in and wired and ready to go. But this pond and that pond are now ready for fencing. I'm holding off on fencing until I get this pond done. And in order to get this pond done, I gotta take all the stuff out of it. The water wall, the light, the box, my tools, my speakers. All of it's gotta go out and go someplace else while I'm doing the lining. And then we can start putting the water wall itself in and getting it put together with all its parts. We'll probably spend the rest of the day working on this pond, you know, with getting the water wall and stuff assembled after the liner's in. I still have the pumping to do. I still have the pneumatics to do. I got the board controller to do, the light, and a couple other little miscellaneous things that go along with this room. But we spent about 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours last night disassembling this room. And I've been in here all day today doing what I've just gotten done so far, which is the lighting, both on that and on the guy over there, and getting Zombie Bait's wires ran over to where they'll end up connecting up eventually. A lot of work. It's worth it though, I think. Alright guys, quickie segment here. Been working, here, turn that on so you can see a little bit better. I got the water wall out, I got my liner cut to my length I need to do the pool. And I did mention about the liner. The liner is a, here let me get this clicked off, a 6 mil thickness, 20 foot wide by 100 foot long. I get it up at Ace Hardware. You can probably find it elsewhere. I know Home Depot carries it. They're a little bit more expensive on it. And I know I've bought theirs in years past. And the one thing I didn't like about it is it says white. You know, the plastic is supposed to be white, like this stuff is. You know, I like the white, you know, for doing the black light in here. Because I actually put dye in the water, and between the dye and this plastic, it glows really, really well. The stuff you get at Home Depot is more clear than white, and it doesn't reflect at all. But anyway, I wanted to mention that. For the roll, you'll pay about 95 bucks, I think is what I spent last year on it, up at Ace. And like I said, it's 20 foot wide, 100 foot long. And I recommend you can get it in shorter lengths if you need it. I like buying it in the 100 foot lengths, then it lasts me a couple of seasons. You know, that roll there, I had enough left over last year to do one pond. So I had to go buy that. So that did 2 ponds last year. No, it did 3 ponds because I didn't have enough. I had enough for 2 ponds in here, and I still had this pond and the clown pond to do, and I didn't have enough. So it did 2 ponds last year, and then I'm getting all 3 ponds done this year. And then next year, it'll be close. I'll either have enough for all the ponds, or I'll be just a little bit shy and I'll have to buy more. You know, and if you want to do ponds like this, it's not really hard to do. I know the first year we did it, I had a pond about half the size of the dragon pond. Here, turn that on so you can see a little bit better. But it was about half the size of the dragon pond. We just started out with a really small pond, and I did 2 by 6 for the framing. And, you know, it worked fine. When I added the water blasters, I needed a little more depth, so I went up to a 2x10, and it got me the results I wanted. So, sorry, my mind went blank. But, you know, to do the frames, too, I'm using 2x10s. They're not attached to each other. I just drove stakes in. On the shorter pieces, I used one at each end. And then just screwed the 2x10 to it. On the longer pieces, I used 3, one on each end and one in the middle. And that's all it really takes. You know, you just make sure your corners where pieces are touching. You don't want to leave gaps or anything. It's really, really easy to do. This is really good, you know, if you want to do black light, even if you want to do like a blood pool or something out in your front yard with some sort of little geyser fountain or something, and you dye the water red. You know, it works out really good. The liners are heavy duty and they hold up. It does take a little practice with installing them. You know, you gotta make sure you cut a little extra because you're doing across the ground plus up the side and over the top a bit to attach it. I'm just attaching it with staples. You know, you want to try to keep it as smooth as you can. And, you know, like over there, I've got a ripple in the plastic. You want to try to avoid those if you can. And it's impossible, especially when you get a wonky shaped pond. This one here, the only ripples I got were on the back wall, and those will flatten out once I get the water in. So, anyway, update there, and I'm blinding you again. Sorry. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to mention the pond. Okay, give you a little bit of nighttime footage. It is a little brighter in here. I got the last black light up, and we got him working. He's turning back and forth. Set dresser's on her way out. God, that's really showing up pink. It's not that bright in person. Wow. Yeah, things look way brighter on this phone than they actually are, at least to the human eye. And then there's the water wall, the front of it at least. I've still got the fountain to do on this and the side panel that goes on here so they can't see through. Man, it's a little cockeyed. The my end pieces here are a little warped, so it's narrower at the top and wider at the bottom. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to have a problem with the side panel going on. I'm going to have a gap. And what I might end up doing is moving a zombie bait here over to kind of hide that gap if there is one. Watch out for the cord. Just a set dresser. I wanted her to come out and take a look at things. There's a cord and a basket and stuff there too. God, even that stuff's glowing on the camera. But all in all, we were in here all day. We got that lit, zombie bait wired, that guy lit. We got the liners in, we got the tubs back on, and we got the water wall done. Spent all day just doing this. So there's your nighttime look. Stay tuned for happy hour and end of the day wrap up. Okay, it's happy hour. Of course it's a happy hour. We're at the end of the day. Aren't you happy? Gin Mule. Mint sprig, lime juice, freshly squeezed, simple syrup, Kakure London dry gin, Aubrey Sanders ginger beer, and garnish with a mint sprig. Now that'll get you a little bit happy at least. Now you can go in and relax and go to bed. End of the day wrap up. We damn near got wet today. We worked in the water room all day long. Got quite a bit done. Got the low voltage ran for the lights and that sort of thing. Got the... I covered a lot of what we did in the last segment. I'm not going to sit here and rehash it again. Not in the last segment. Last segment was happy hour. Sorry, I am tired and cold. And Kaylee wants me in the house. Tomorrow we are going to be hitting water room again. We got to get that water room finished. We are getting really close, but we are starting to get into some of the, a little bit more time-consuming ends of it. Putting that fence back up is time-consuming. The pneumatics are fairly simple, fairly straightforward. It's just running all the air lines for them and then running the wiring for them. That is what's going to take a lot of time. We got to get the pumps in and get them wired and ran out to where they're going to be eventually plugged in at. That's going to take some time. And then it's just the fencing. And then we're, for the most part, done with it. I do need to get the fountain up on the water wall, and I got to get the side panels up. Also might move zombie bait for a little bit further out too. I haven't fully decided on that one yet. It will depend on how the side panel looks on that side there. The top is more narrow, the bottom is a little bit wider. Hold on, tell us. You know, that Google business page that Crivolone told us about a couple years back comes in handy, but the phone rings. Boy, I get a lot of calls off of my Google business page. That one there, the lady wanted to know if we were still open, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, we don't open until the 24th. And it's, oh, okay, thanks. I get a lot of calls like that. Are you open? Are you open? Are you still open? But that Google business page, and they're free. You can do them for free. For your haunt, good way. You know, I've got mine set up. It points everyone over to my Facebook page I have for my haunted tents. I post the hours, the dates, my phone number. They require a phone. You have to post a phone number on it. So I get a lot of calls with hours and dates. There's a map feature with it, and it has come in handy so far. Between the Facebook, my Facebook page, and the Google business page, since I posted the dates and the hours for the haunt this year, which was September 20th, we've had, between the two, just over 1,000 hits. So, that's pretty dang good considering the town I live in. You know, it's a semi-small town. I think we're like 15th largest in the state or something like that. We're about 80,000 people, if that, depending on what time of the year it is. But anyway, we've got stuff to do tomorrow. I've got this to edit. It's well after 9:30, and I'm beat. So I'm going to get in the house, get you guys edit. I'm going to bed. Stay spooky, stay toxic.